we have put together based on what we got on Facebook, on what people wanted to see, the recipes people wanted to learn, the other tips and tricks of cooking that they wanted to learn. So this is a very user-generated cooking show. So, and we try to bring you, because this is a community portal, we try to bring you what you want. And this is all for community sharing and support from home cooks. And we share all our best practices with you. So Jyoti will be our moderator. Hi, Jyoti.
Buddy, hi, Poonam.
And we have some wonderful cooks on our session today. We have Shanthi Seshadari. Shanthi Seshadari has always been very generous, sharing her recipes and her tips with the community. We also have two young ladies with us. We have Harshita Naidu, who would be doing chocolate chip cookies. And I have my daughter, Isha, who will be doing veg sushi with us. And
Isha.
we also have Geeta, our nutritionist, who will be telling us how to make all desserts healthier. So this will be a wonderful session. So without further ado, Jyoti, all over to you.
Thank you, Poonam. Thank you so much. Everybody is looking very nice and bright. I think ending of the year, it's looking like happy season greetings to everybody. And I think I'm very happy to see budding young guys to join in, Isha and Harshita. And I remember Harshita as a very small girl years ago. So it's really, really nice to see both of them, taking part in something which just started off as fun, which is really, really nice. There were a lot of requests for different things, from Indonesian food to healthy desserts to millets and stuff like that. So this is like a khichdi mix of this session. We don't have any particular theme, unlike we usually have. So what we've done is taken whatever was possible in this lot, and then we'll carry forward the request for the next few sessions. So we found Shanthi has been using a lot of millets. Now, millets are another grain which is very much like rice and wheat. So rice and wheat have been popularized a lot more than millets. There are many kinds of millets. Bajra, jowar, we've heard these names, but we don't know exactly which millet is what. We also need to understand that our grandparents and our great-great-grandparents used to use a lot of millets. And, it's a fiber which is very, very rich with a lot of things. It's very coarse, so it takes longer to digest, and that is why probably over the years we stopped using. It has a longer process of making it into a flour or a dough, or how we need to eat it. So obviously we are cutting short on our cooking processes and we make things faster, and that's why over the years we have moved on more to the wheat and the rice. Millets are full of protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Jawahar, which is sorghum, ragi, which is finger millet, kora, which is foxtail millet, RK or kodo, and sama, which is sama rice, which we eat during fasting period, is little millet. Bajra is the pearl millet, and chena or bar is the proso millet. These are actually the most popular 5 or 6 categories of millets. Now, just because over the years we have been feeding millets more to the birds around as an Indian tradition, we forgot to feed ourselves. And over the years, we've realized that this is far more healthier. And most of these millets are gluten-free. So they have surfaced now because a lot of people have come out with gluten intolerances, and a lot of nutritionists and dietitians have come up with gluten-free products for people. And that's how millets have started to slowly come back into our system again. The other thing is these millets are now easily available most of the places, and the processes have been already done at the manufacturer end. So it's becoming more easier and accessible to make these. A lot of these, if you have, Poonam is going to put up a slide. If you see the slide and see the nutritional value and the carbohydrates and the proteins in different millets vis-a-vis a rice and wheat, you'll be really surprised. So if you actually see the amount of protein, carbohydrate, fats, the calories as we talk about, the calcium and iron is highest in sorghum. Sorghum is what we say jawahar. And if you see raw rice, It's just protein 68, sorry, 6.8, that's 10.4. Same goes for bajra. Look at the calories, they are very much similar, but what are the other things which you're getting lot more out of these millets, which you don't get from rice and wheat?
You know, I was very surprised to see this slide, Jyoti, because I find that in finger millets, you've got 328 kilocalories.
Correct.
And you've got 344 milligrams of calcium. Wow.
And imagine people who are calcium deficient, or when the children are growing up, to just give it to them. And thankfully, these can be used into a lot of your own products. So you can make pancakes out of millets. You can use them as thickener into your soups and curries. You can make dosas out of it. I have been eating a lot of rotlas out of it, which is a Gujarati way of making roti. So they use, I've been using jawahar, bajra, and a wee bit, maybe a spoon of the normal wheat flour to bind it. Or just jawahar, bajra, or other one of these ragis. Ragis is another very, very healthy grain. And put these together and add some maybe grated cucumber or grated carrot, and then make it into a roti. And it's healthy, it's nutritious. Just to give you a little fun tip, my son, who's a meat eater, I actually make a chicken mince and I knead it into the jawar and bajra, and I make a roti kind of a paratha for him. And he loves it. So basically, these grains can be used in a lot of ways. The ragi pancakes are really yum. Just add a little bit of chocolate, and you can't tell if it's a chocolate pancake or a ragi pancake. Ragi is also come in different cereals. So you have, these morning breakfast cereals full of ragi. So I think it's time to move towards them, with keeping in mind their nutritional value is far more than the regular two grains that we have been sticking to. So we move to Shanthi, because Shanthi, as always, has been very experimental with a lot of things, whether it's art or it's food. And Shanthi is going to share two of her recipes with us. So is she there? I don't think I can right now. Yes.
Hi, Jyoti. I'm
Hi,
here.
Shanthi. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing good. So,
okay, great. So we are doing two. Would you want to add something to what I said? Because you've been using millets a lot more.
yes. See, millets, as she said, it is, even though it is a carb, but it is full of fiber and it takes longer time. Glycemic index is low and it takes sugar for sugar patients, diabetes. It is very good. And it's very, very healthy. The calories and the energy level, how he showed, no, that Samai Arisi has so much. It's so good, like, 200 years historical, like, when they write about the story. I read recently about the book, which about Rajaraja Solan, who was in South India. And those history, they mentioned that they used to have this millet Samai rice. That means imagine that they were all the kings were also using this Samai rice for everything, cooking. And after, as she said, after the rice come, then these are all gone. And again in 2012 or 10 years before, it started coming and people started talking about it. So now, as she said, I substitute my samai rice with upma we make with rice upma, which is called, it's not the regular upma. So that, and the adai and dosa and idli, pongal, and also Gujarati, the way you all make khichdi, that also I make with the samai or the other finger millets if it's available in Jakarta. Sometimes, I mean, we bring everything from India, but here now in Murugan, your samai rice is available. So I
that
don't
is
know.
the secret to your energy, huh, Shanthi?
Yes, I think. But sometimes we not that I avoid totally rice, but we have rice. But most me and Seshadari, if we both only are there, and if we don't have any guest or nothing, we prefer making in Samai only, like everything, and it comes out very well. There is not that much of a difference as you say, oh wow, this is Samai rice and dosa or anything. So now I will show you how to make the adai first. Yeah, the ingredients.
Until the time she's going to the kitchen, can we see the slide?
No, not kitchen. I'm here.
She has set up everything on her table.
Awesome. I thought we were heading towards your kitchen.
No.
She set up everything here.
Hope you can see here. I've kept the 1 cup of rice, which is 150 grams.
Yeah.
So
Samai,
let me share the recipe. It's really
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
It's already on Indo-Indians, and if you want to go there, you can also see it there. But we have it right here, and I will just show you. So first, she's going to do the adai,
Yeah.
and the recipe is really simple. If you'd like to take a screenshot or take a photograph, it's also available on Indoindians.com. So it's 1 cup of the Samai rice, half a cup of tur dal, half a cup of chana dal, 1/4 cup of yellow moong dal, 2 tablespoons of urad dal, and 8 to 10 red chilies. Yes, Shanti?
Just
Yeah.
ask
See, if you take any measurement of cup, whatever it is, 200 grams or 150, that doesn't matter. That always, that should be the number one. The next is the half cup of chana dal, half cup of tur dal. The urad dal should not be more because it will become again like a dosa.
Right.
That's the difference between adai and dosa. Dosa should not be, I mean, adai should not be grinded very fine also. It should be coarsely ground. And nowadays, moong dal is also tasty. Before, we never used to use moong dal for adai. But we, of late, more of dal, more protein. So we started adding this also. So these are the ingredients. And with hing and with red chilies, we grind to a coarse like this. Can you see, all of you?
you soak the rice for how long and the dal?
This all, see, today morning I would have like 11,
Okay.
11 at 10 only I soaked, only 2 hours, maximum 2 hours, yeah. The two samai don't need that much when compared to boiled rice. So if it is 1.5 to 2 hours is enough.
Okay.
So for making everything, and I, for better, I mean, for interesting, it should be, I added the moringa leaves today also,
Okay.
and onions also. Okay. So now we can make the
You
adai.
don't need to ferment this after blender.
No, 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 no. See, the adai is no fermenting. You
Okay.
can just do straight away.
Okay.
Now I will just show only.
Question from Aparna, do you soak everything together or dal separate, rice separate?
No, actually, for usually we used to do soak separately, but
Okay.
sometimes for adai, if you can coarsely, then you can just soak together, no
Okay.
problem.
All right. Sounds much easier than making a dosa.
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm just putting. Can you see?
Yes, absolutely. So I can see it's a little crumblier than the normal white dosa that we have. It's because your batter is more coarse.
Yeah, coarse. Adai should be coarsely grind, and don't say that I will. You can do in non-stick also, but you need oil for adai.
Yes.
Then only you'll get the crispness. You can put it in the center a little bit if you want.
Okay. So Sarita Pansari is asking, you buy Samai rice in Jakarta?
Yeah, I got this in Murugan store only.
Okay. Yeah, I remember buying Samai rice in Jakarta, easily available.
Yeah, yeah. So meanwhile, you can show the slide now because when you.
Yeah, but Shanti, one thing I noticed when you were making this, you made a little hole in the center and you put oil there.
Because for adai, you need little more, crispier. So we always put oil in the center.
I see.
Barley peat, you made 2, 3 holes for it too.
Just not many holes, just only one.
So let me share the recipe again because some people,
And
Rama is asking for the recipe.
Rama just asked, and that all the recipes will be posted on Indo-Indians page and they'll be there forever. So even if
Yes,
you forget the name of the person or the date the show happened, just type the recipe in the search and you'll find everything.
correct. And here is the method also, the ingredients also. So if you wish, you could just take a,
And I forgot to mention you. See, coconut is very healthy also again. So we prefer to put coconut in the adai. You know.
I see.
Have you put
So
coconut at the stage where you made the batter?
yeah, after grinding, you just add little bit coconut, little bit whatever you like, down cucumber, then onion, all add to the this thing. But if we are not having onion or anything, coconut you can add.
So it's more like a chila, so we say in the north side or the Rajasthan side and UP side, we make it with different batters, right? It's similar to that. It's not as thin like a dosa, is it?
No, yeah, it is not so thin. See, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
I got a new whatever, for this. For
Samai rice, Raksham is asking. Samai rice is little millet in English for everybody to know.
yeah, little millet in English. Yeah.
Yes, correct. And yes, Geeta, you're right. She has added moringa leaves and she's
I
added.
added because I have plenty in my tree.
Yeah,
Can you see the crispness? See?
absolutely.
Can you see the color?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Same how you make our rice adai. The color is same, taste is same. Like my son or my husband, they won't even know the difference unless I tell them.
Lovely.
Even if you come or anything, you will not know the difference. That too, especially in adai, you cannot find the difference.
So we'll have to come and test that out.
Oh, see, I miss all of you because we eat this. See, the combination is always with jaggery, with
Mhm.
ghee or butter, then with achar, tomato pickle, which is very interesting. And the most interesting, the hotel what we get avial. So because this has lot of vegetables and yogurt in this, so this is the best combination of adai. I will just show you. You cannot have it, but I'm just serving it with everything.
So
See,
it's best with avial, with tomato pickle.
avial with the chutneys and with especially with coconut sugar or whatever your sugar. I mean, nowadays we started avoiding sugar, so we always have with jaggery. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So my adai is ready. And I have with chutney, avial.
Very nice.
Okay. So now we are going to show how to make the this one.
There's one more question.
Please
Sarita is
ask and
asking.
then we can
With
start.
samai rice, can we also make dosa?
Of course, I'm showing now.
Okay.
Today,
Only samai rice.
one minute, I'll bring little water.
Yeah.
So let me share the recipe for the dosa. So this is the Samai rice dosa recipe. Can you see my screen?
Yes, absolutely.
So it just needs 2 cups of the little millets, half a cup of urad dal, and 1 spoon of methi seeds. And you soak everything for 2 hours, grind to a smooth batter, and ferment for 6 to 8 hours. Add salt just like you do before making dosas. And but she says that you should use this within 3 days for best results. You can't keep it like dosa batter for a long time in the fridge.
This is now for dosa. Actually, this is the 2 cups of samai rice.
Okay.
You see, some people I know, my one of my friend, only for husband and wife, they'll just take 1 cup of samai rice and 1/4 of urad dal and little bit of methi and finish 6 or 7 dosa and done for the day. And they don't need to keep. See, our dosa batter can be converted into uttapam and so many things, So we grind more, it's okay. But Samai, we don't like to keep it, or we have never experimented with that with the making of other stuff. So I always prefer you finish within 3 days or 4 days. Not that it become bad or anything, but the quality is good when you finish in. So the 2 cups of rice and half cup of urad dal. 4:1 is the proportion of dosa, whether it is rice or whether it is samai, I mean millet rice dosa, and little bit of methi. Okay. So we soak everything together and then grind and keep it for fermentation, like as usual. However, dosa better is getting very heat.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see the color.
Nice
Can you
expression.
feel how it is the consistency? Just put this.
So you're eating the
So
same rice dosa, but it's a different rice. And all of
yeah, it's a different rice. And not only that, but at the same time here, you can see the various process that goes into making the perfect dosa. She's heated up her tawa, she's sprinkled the water on top, wiped it off.
Okay. Now, see, because this is so much heated, the tawa, I should have changed it.
yeah. I think your tawa was too hot.
Yeah, my tawa was too hot. I would have just converted it anyway.
So this is a cast iron tawa, is it?
Yeah, it's iron tawa, not stick.
Yeah.
I could have used the other one.
Shanti, it's a little away from this topic. You keep seasoning this tawa all the time. Every time you wash it before you store,
So
you.
usually we keep that day adai means adai. Another day, I mean dosa means dosa. Like cast iron, we keep it for this, but not for chapati. Chapati is different.
Okay. So when you're not using this, you season it with oil and everything and then say,
Yeah. We don't wash it very often,
okay.
so we just have it like See today this was little bit heated up, so I don't know the color.
So
Otherwise,
Aparna is asking, does dosa come better with non-stick or iron tawa?
no iron tawa. Of course, yeah, the color and crispness and everything. You can't even get the quality of the dosa in non-stick. I mean, if our for anybody, whoever it is, we say, see,
So,
this is
on a
iron tawa.
different, I think we should do one session on different kinds of cookware.
No. See, ours is we encourage everybody, even the youngsters now to do iron because in those days, like whatever the iron from the iron tawa helps us to get the iron also in the body. Like
Yes, absolutely.
non-stick comes later, and the taste doesn't come like how we do in this. So of course, this see the smell of methi. I get so very well. Yeah, I can do one more dosa crispness, no problem. Yeah. Wait, I will show you one more because it was so much.
Everything makes a difference. That iron pan does make a very big difference to the crispiness and everything. So you didn't splash water this time.
No, because it was so hotted up that time.
Okay.
Now every time you don't need to.
Okay. That's where the expertise comes. For me, before every dosa, I splash water, clean it.
No need. No need. See, it will come out very, very nice and crisp only. See, I will taste on behalf of you people.
Yes, please do enjoy it. Yes,
This,
Aparna, we
this
will
can
have.
go very well with, that coriander chutney what we make
Yes.
and coconut chutney and sambar, whatever. And taste will be exactly the same.
Komal, for Samai rice, she has soaked for about 6 to 8 hours. There's a
No. Soaking is only 2 hours.
Okay.
Fermenting is 8 to 6 hours.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. So soaking the Samai rice is only for 2 hours and fermenting is about 6 to 8 hours.
And samai rice, if you want, even morning you can grind like 8 o'clock and have for dinner. No problem. Because idli only needs so much of the sour or teachud rice, whereas dosa doesn't need to be like that.
I think this is great.
Yeah.
To learn two new things today.
See the crispness, yeah.
Yeah, very nice, crispy.
Very well planned and organized. So very nice.
I don't even need to turn it, but just I'm turning because it's already done this side also.
Lovely. Very
That's great.
appealing.
We can have one chicken only for chutneys. I make
Yes.
different chutneys. Even in US, when we got a lot of cranberry, I made a tukku out of it.
Nice.
That will go
Yeah.
very well.
Poonam, one on cookware also.
How it comes, see?
Lovely.
Very, it looks perfect.
Yes. And
Great.
this is Samai rice. So you
And
can.
it comes like as though how is boiled rice is made, that color and crispness and everything.
Correct.
And I'm not using any non-stick, so obviously it's iron.
Great.
Done.
Thank you so much, Shanthi, because that was a great insight into millets, something which I personally wanted to, learn more on. And thankfully, there were more requests on millets. So that's really nice. I'm hoping the people who are watching, anybody else is doing any millet based other things besides these two, will be happy to cover it in the next few sessions.
Sure, we can have another session with.
Yes, yes. But thank you so much, as always.
Watching, I will tell you, wherever you use rice, for example, even the Gujarati dish the other day I was doing, you can substitute that with Samai, which wherever there is soaking needed and then grinding, even it is a small portion of rice, you can have it because of the fiber in that and the calorie in that.
Right.
And you feel guilty even having two dosa, or if it is so tasty, if you have little more than two dosa, you feel guilt free as though you are eating something, healthier instead of the white rice.
Very nice. Thank you, Shanti. That was wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing, as always. It's
Thank
a
you.
really big heart, as I always say, to share. So thank you very, very much. We now move to one of our very young participants here, Isha. I'm very happy to see her. Where is she now?
Hi.
Hi, Isha.
Hello.
We've all missed you around in Jakarta. Your mom, I'm sure, is waiting to hug you. So I'm very happy to hear that you want to share a recipe, and let's go ahead and do that. So that's a veg sushi.
Yes, so I'll be sharing with you how to make veg sushi. It's really easy. I'm just going to move my camera down so you can see my workstation. So it's very easy to make veg sushi. All you need are three main ingredients. You need cucumber, because I'll be making a cucumber veg sushi.
Okay.
You need sushi rice,
Okay.
and you need seaweed.
Oh, seaweed also.
Yes.
Yeah, so seaweed is, yeah.
You've sliced and kept with the skin.
Yeah, cucumber is kept sliced with the skin, but it's as per your preference, as you wish to eat it.
Already cooked the sushi rice?
Sorry, say again?
Have you already cooked the sushi rice?
Yes, I have already cooked the sushi rice. So just to make it a little easier, I've made it in the rice cooker.
Okay.
And so it's really easy. It's the same way you make any other rice. It's just that you have to mix sushi vinegar inside the sushi rice. This is what gives it the balance of sweet and salty, and it also has a little bit of a vinegar tangy taste. You can also make sushi rice with a little bit of rice vinegar, salt, and sugar if you don't already have the pre-made sushi vinegar.
Okay. Poonam, can you just share the slide before we go ahead?
Just let me share the slide or the recipe, so then it's very clear. So this is how the sushi looks. It's just with cucumber, seaweed, and rice. It's just very simple. And what you need is, as Isha explained, you just need the sushi rice, the seaweed. Now, one thing that I would like to share is that seaweed is actually vegetarian. It's just feed.
And it's extremely healthy.
Yes, and very high in iodine.
Yes.
And it has got lots of minerals in it. And this is an incredibly healthy thing for us.
Actually, it's extremely full of fiber, Poonam. I remember when kids are really small, the pediatricians actually encourage the children to eat a packet of sushi every day because it's so full of fiber.
Yeah.
So, and it's crunchy and they have flavors, so kids really enjoy it, and that's the best way of eating fiber.
And it is sometimes when people have never had seaweed before, they might think it has a little fishy smell, but that is just the smell of the sea because it grows in the ocean.
Correct.
And then they dry it out. But really, there's nothing fishy about it. It is totally vegetarian.
Pure vegetarian, absolutely. And you have some very nice flavors you can explore and see what suits your palate.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I really like the fact that she's done an easy way of making sushi rice by just putting it in the rice cooker.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time people are just wondering, how much to cook? Is it like risotto? Is it less? And stuff like that. Just put it in the rice cooker.
Yeah.
Asking sushi rice. Yes, sushi rice is easily available at all international grocery stores or in big grocery stores which have international sections. It's really very easy to find, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it's basically just Japanese rice.
Correct.
They're short grains and they're a bit fat. So this is what makes them very starchy and sticky. So when I show you how I put the rice on the seaweed, you'll see how it sticks to the seaweed sheet, which is what helps when it's very starchy. So then you don't have to worry about it sliding off the seaweed sheet.
Do you have any raw rice near you somewhere?
Rolled rice?
Raw rice.
Oh, raw rice. Yes, let me show you.
Okay, yeah. So it's a very tiny grain, and it's very, very easily available. You
So
can
it's,
even online.
you just comes in a packet like this, same like any other rice, and it indicates sushi rice. So it's very easily identifiable if you're buying sushi rice or just other regular rice. Yeah.
This is available in Jakarta.
It is available everywhere.
Yeah, very easily available.
Even at ranch market, I mean, you don't really have to go to food halls. It's available even at ranch market. So, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay, so I'll just start off. So here I've cut my seaweed sheet in half. This is a full seaweed sheet. And when you want to start, you have to use either sushi mat like this, which is bamboo, or you can even use a thick kitchen towel and just like roll it on later. I'll show you how to do that. So you want the glossy side down so that you can stick the sushi on the less glossy side.
And it's easy to tell the difference when you touch the sheet.
Yeah, so you can feel it very easily.
Yeah.
So here's half my sushi sheet. And I'm taking my rice and I'm just taking as much as I intend to eat. This is very preference based. If you don't want to eat too much rice, you can put less rice. If you like more rice, you can put more rice.
Yes.
So here I'm also taking a little bit of water because you need to keep your hands a bit damp when you're pressing the rice on the sheet because it's so sticky. So you just take this ball of rice and you press it down on the sheet as so.
Spread it around.
And you want to make sure that you're covering the edges, leaving about a 1 centimeter gap from the top, which is what you will need to leave open when you roll the sheet over. So I'm just taking a little more rice. And I'm pressing this down. If you see any thick areas of the rice on the sheet, you can just push them over to the parts which don't have as much rice.
You can make it as thin and thick as you said to your taste and preference.
Yeah, as per your taste. So I'm going to be using only this much rice. Now I'll take my cucumber. Here I've sprinkled some chili flakes because that's how I like it. I like it spicy. So I'm just going to take a couple of these.
And no salt to it, is it?
No salt because there's already a little bit of salt in the rice. From the sushi. Sorry?
No.
Oh.
I think somebody was talking in the background.
So I'm just placing my cucumber down. And I also have a couple of pieces of avocado. I think I'm going to put that down too.
So the toppings and filling is whatever is your choice.
Yeah, completely as per your choice.
In fact, when we had done a sushi class at JW Marriott, they had said that you can make a paneer tikka masala of sushi. So totally up to you what you want to stuff inside your sushi.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm going to be rolling my sushi. So this is something to take note. You're going to have to pull the fillings in through the sheet. So just to make sure that it's safely tucked within the rice. So here I have my sushi sheet on one side of my sushi bamboo sheet, and then I will be covering all of the toppings with the rice like so. And then pulling it so that I'm keeping it tight and making sure that all of the rice is sticking to each other, since that's what's holding it like a roll. And then once it's done, you can lift up the sheet. And there you have your sushi roll.
Right.
So it looks like a little roll like that.
With the stuffing inside.
And then in order to cut it, you need to take your knife and you need to wet it a little bit, just so the seaweed doesn't stick to your knife. And once you slice it down, you will have one little piece of sushi like that. So you can keep cutting this down, and what you will get at the end of it would be different kinds of sushi like this.
Nice.
So you can have a little bit of cucumber sushis. You can even flip the rice over and put the fillings on the seaweed side, and then have it like an upside down sushi where you can see the seaweed on the inside with whichever fillings you like. Or you can make it like a little cone where you put all of the rice and then your fillings on the inside. Or you can even make it like a little box shape with any toppings that you like on top. Some sauces, some mayonnaise if you like.
Get these beautiful sushi molds in all these stores, so you can really experiment with those.
That's it. It's that easy.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Isha, how do you eat? Do you have a dip or a sauce, something to go with it?
So you can have it with soya sauce if you wish. I like to make a spicy mayo. I'll be happy to share my recipe along with my current sushi recipe.
Sure.
I like to have it with a mixture of sriracha and mayonnaise. It's really easy to make, and it's really tasty to have it with any kind of sushi that you have.
Okay, great. Absolutely. So just sriracha and mayonnaise, as spicy as you want, and just mix it up and dip your sushi in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Very nice.
So just FYI, I haven't tried her sushi yet.
You have to fly down now. Okay, so there are some questions for you. Isha, can we spread the rice only any side of the seaweed sheet?
You prefer to put it on the side that's less glossy. This is just so that it sticks better to the sticky rice. Otherwise, the other side is more waxy and it might not stick as easily.
Okay. Okay. So people who are starting to make sushi for the first time, the advice is go with the normal routine and experiment later.
Yeah.
Keep the seaweed, the glossy side outside, because that's what's going to look at you. And when you eat, it looks nice and bright. The rough side inside, do your rice and roll it with the stuffing of your choice. As you get more confident, you could do the inside out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think sushi making is an art. It's really an art. And it may seem very simple to roll. A lot of us will fail first time for sure, because either we stuff it too much or we don't tuck it in tight. But believe you me, it is not as difficult as it looks like. It can really turn out very nice, very quick. So go ahead and try it. And I have a lot of people saying thank you very much for
Please
your...
send in your pictures if you give it a shot.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah.
So Pavni is asking, do you use Kewpie mayonnaise?
Yes, I actually do use Kewpie mayonnaise, but you could use any mayo that you like.
Okay.
Aparna says you should put chaat masala on your cucumber.
Yeah, you can. You can do that too.
Everything.
So it's basically like having a green with the rice, and you can add any sabzi on top of it if you like.
And Poonam is right. When we did the sushi session, a lot of vegetarians said that how do we stuff it? You don't want to do just raw salads all the time. And there was this thing of, yes, why not? Why shouldn't we put paneer tikka in it? Just slice paneer tikka and put it along with some seasonings. So
And Isha, you are absolutely gorgeous, just like the sushi you made. Absolutely. We are very proud of you.
And which sriracha do you use, Isha? Can you show the bottle?
Yeah, sure. I use the Thai one. I'll just go get it.
And in the meantime, I'll just share the recipe one more time as been requested. So that is the recipe. So you can just take a screenshot or a photograph. It's super simple. They're just 3 things and you can try your hand at making sushi.
And I think the good thing with this is now everything is so easily available. Even the pickled ginger is easily available. Wasabi is easily available. Sushi rice, the bamboo.
Everything.
In fact, the bamboo sheet and all is available at even the dollar stores. It's so accessible. And those beautiful sushi molds, it's all very easy. So if now you don't make it, there's no excuse.
Yeah. And Isha, show the bottle. Apna bottle. Yeah, that's
This is the bottle of sriracha. I've used a lot of it because I have my sushi a lot with my spicy mayo. And this is my bottle of Kewpie mayo.
Okay.
So these two combined make spicy mayo.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Isha.
Great. Thank you very, very much, Isha. Lovely to see you. And thank you for sharing a recipe. Healthy.
Thank you for listening also.
Okay, we now move on to Harshita, right?
Yes.
Great. From one youngster to another younger youngster.
Where is Harshita? There she is. Let me spotlight her. Yeah. Hi, Harshita.
How are you? Good. Lovely to see you, and thank you for sharing your recipe with us on Indo-Indians Cooking Shooking event. Can we just show your slide first, and then we come back to you?
Sure. In fact, I have tried Harshita's cookies.
Lovely. Lucky you.
So she made her cookies and then she shared it with us. So we all tried it out and it was awesome. I really enjoyed them so much. They were really nice on the crisp on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside and very, very chocolatey. Excellent cookies.
So it's 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, half cup white sugar, 2 eggs, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon salt, 1.5 to 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, up to how much you like. And then we go ahead. Minu says she's also tried her cookies. Yum. Great. So we already have contenders for this. Wonderful. Let's go back to Harshita.
Yeah.
Yes, Harshita. How do we see the ingredients and how are you going to show us?
So I have the ingredients ready. I'll just tilt my camera.
Yes, perfect.
But making the batter takes around 15 minutes. So
a little louder.
Making the dough for the cookies takes about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to show. I made cookies this morning, so I have the different stages of the batter, and I'll just go through the steps that way. Because otherwise it would be quite boring if you just saw me mixing butter for 10
then
minutes.
We know that we can only see, we can't taste, so it does get boring.
Yeah, so I have all the ingredients ready, and I'll go through the recipe, and then as well as I'll just talk about some of the things.
Sure.
So like some of the aunties have said already that over quarantine I got really into baking. So I did a little cookie business with one of my friends, and our signature, if you will, was the chocolate chip. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty confident in this recipe. So I'll just get started. Sure. The first thing is that you need to have the first thing that you need to do is cream the butter and the sugar together. Okay. So we have
use the normal unsalted butter.
Yeah, 1 cup of unsalted butter. And the reason it's unsalted is because in baking, you want to be able to control the level of salt. And if you use pre-salted butter, you don't know how much salt they put in. Yes. And it gets harder to control the saltiness. And so that's 1 cup of unsalted butter. And it has to be softened as well. It shouldn't be right out of the fridge, or it shouldn't be melted either. It should be softened, sort of like when you would put on bread. Yep. And then we have 1 cup of brown sugar.
Okay. That's powdered or granulated? Powdered.
Either is fine as long as it's 1 cup. Okay. And half a cup of
white sugar.
Okay. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but I use different bowls. But the way I measure it is using measuring cups like this. So I use volume. And it worked fine for me, but if you want, if you use a scale, then the butter would be 227 grams, and that's also the equivalent for the brown sugar, and the white sugar would be half of that at 100.
So in that case, I think when you put another slide and just do grams and this, and then that can be posted on the website.
Yeah, but what I mean to say is that
because some people do buy the scale and some people use the measuring cups.
So correct? Yeah, I just from my experience, I've seen that both volumetric and the grams works. So in case you don't have the scale, it's okay to just use the volumetric measurements. So after you cream together the butter and the sugar, I use a electric hand mixer. I should do it by hand, but it takes like twice as long. So if you use an electric hand mixer, it should take about 8 minutes, just because if you don't cream it well enough, the granules of sugar will just stay, they won't incorporate into the butter. And when it bakes, it'll just settle on the bottom, which is not really pleasant. So you have to really make sure to thoroughly cream it. That takes around 8 minutes. And after that, you'll be adding 2 eggs, one at a time, into the mixture. And the eggs have to be room temperature because the butter at that point will have been room temperature. So if you add cold eggs, it'll separate and it won't mix as well. So the eggs should be room temperature. And again, one at a time, and until that's fully incorporated. And then it's a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And baking soda helps to make the cookies spread. Baking powder helps puff, whereas soda spreads. And because cookies, you want it to be a little, like you want it to spread a little bit. So 1/4 teaspoon, and then a teaspoon of salt. After that's all incorporated, the second to last ingredient, the penultimate ingredient is flour, which is 2 1/4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. In Indo, there's this brand, I think it's called Geeta Seth. They have 3 types of flour, and my only like tip would be to make sure that you choose either all-purpose flour or cake flour. If you choose the green bag, that's bread flour, and the cookies will be really tough. So after mixing everything,
The cake flour usually is the self-raising, so it usually has baking powder and baking soda in it already. Usually the cake flours have, that's called self-raising flours.
that's different. Self-raising flour is different from cake flour. Cake flour is called cake flour because there's less gluten in it, and which is why like that's the difference between a cupcake and like a muffin or bread, because the more gluten in it is, the tougher it'll be. So the reason I recommend all-purpose flour or cake flour is because there's less gluten in it, and which means that the cookie will be less tough. You're right in saying that self-rising flour has baking soda mixed and powder mixed in it, but that's a little different.
So a few people from this, somebody from Jakarta saying, so which flour to use? If we have to go to a grocery store, which one to pick up?
The brand, I'm pretty sure, is called Bogosari. It's
the blue pack.
Yeah, the bags come in, there's 3 types of bags. There's a dark blue, which is the all-purpose, a light blue, which is the cake, and then a green, which is the bread. So definitely don't get the green bag. You can get either one of the blue bags. That's okay.
Yeah, and if you're picking up at the Indian grocery store, normal maida is absolutely fine as well.
Yeah. And so after you've incorporated all the ingredients, this is what the dough should look like. I saved some of the dough from when I made the cookies this morning. This is what it should look like. It should have the consistency of like a paste. Like it shouldn't be too sticky.
With the electric mixer or now with the hand?
So you can do the electric mixer all the way. I usually stop after the creaming process, just because, like I said, if you over mix, you form more gluten, and it's very easy to over mix with the electric mixer because you can't really gauge like how much it's being mixed or how fast it's going. So after I finish creaming the butter and the eggs, which again takes around like 8 minutes, then I do the eggs and the flour by hand, just to avoid any overmixing or any unnecessary toughness in the cookie.
That's a good tip for everybody to know, that if you overmix, how it changes. And the earlier good tip which she shared was also about the sugar getting creamed very well with the butter, because a lot of times when people are making cookies, it gets crystallizes or sticky down below or very crisp down below, because obviously the sugar has not really creamed very well with the butter. So yeah, some very good tips. Thank you.
So this is the dough, and in the recipe, it should be baked at 375 degrees, or in Celsius, that's 180. And it's 8 to 15 minutes, depending on the oven type. So
preheat the oven for 10 minutes before?
I recommend around 20 to 20 minutes, because if the oven isn't hot enough when you put the cookies in, 1, it'll take longer to bake, but 2, because there's an uneven temperature, it'll interfere with the way that the cookie bakes, and so it either won't rise as much, or the outside will cook faster than the inside, and then you'll have a burnt exterior but raw interior. So I would say that before you start measuring your ingredients, turn on the oven and keep the eggs out so that by the time you get to the step where you have to put the eggs in, they're at room temperature already. And so
the question somebody said, can we omit eggs if we don't want to use eggs? Is there a replacement?
Yes, so I was anticipating this question. And so the recipe calls for 2 eggs, and the usual replacement for in cookies is either applesauce or it's usually applesauce or mashed bananas, because it resembles the texture of eggs once it's beaten. And the reason you add eggs is to add fluidity to the mixture. So applesauce can be substituted, or as well as mashed bananas. And the measurement is 1 egg is equal to 1/4 cup. So in this recipe, you would have to use 1/2 cup of applesauce or 1/2 cup of banana.
Mashed banana. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good tip. Yeah.
And
it's a great tip.
you add it at the same time. So after creaming, then you add the applesauce, and then the baking soda, and then the flour. So you just sub it in. And again, the measurement is 1 egg is equal to 1/4 cup. And so after you...
Available at all grocery stores, and or you can make your own applesauce.
Yeah, or you can, I mean, I think everyone has bananas, or you can just mash up the bananas. That's also fine.
Somebody, Poonam is saying that replace with 1/4 cup of applesauce or banana per egg, right?
Yes. And so after you bake, the baking time is, like I said, 8 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven type. And one tip that I would have is when you take it out of the oven, it might, like, I think people are like, this is the finished cookie, right? So people are used to seeing like a hard exterior, but you're not going to get that right out of the oven. So I would just say that even if it doesn't look like super hard when you take it out at the end of the 15 minutes, still take it out, because if you leave it in, it'll start to burn. And the way that the cookie hardens is when it cools. So 15 minutes is the maximum, and you should take it out by then. And like, you should just trust me when I'm saying that when it cools, it'll harden, and then it'll be perfect. So I mean,
this is the ready one. So you put parchment paper, and the dough which you have, how do you shape it? Do you want to share with everybody how do they shape the cookie?
I mean, shaping,
or you use a hand and make a ball and soften it on the sheet, or how?
Okay, so the shape of the way that you section out the cookies depends upon the temperature of the dough. So if you, for example, like if you make the dough and then you want to bake it right away, the dough will be quite warm and quite sticky. And so it would be hard to shape it in your hands. In those cases, I use 2 spoons, or you can also use like an ice cream scoop. Or if you want it to be like, but those won't be like as perfect, or as like, they won't be perfect circles, because obviously it's a very rough estimate when you're using spoons. If you want it to be really like perfect and super picturesque, then I would suggest chilling the dough for a little bit, perhaps 15 minutes. And then once the dough is colder, you can scoop it and use your hands to make perfect little balls. So in this case, I put it on the tray right after I made the dough. So it's quite warm, which is why it's like it looks like little like pucks. But if the dough was cold, then you can just put the balls, and then when it bakes, it'll flatten out.
Just one question, Harshita. If I have made one batch, but I still have some batter left,
Mhm.
it has baking soda and everything, can I keep it for a day and do the next batch tomorrow? Is it okay?
Yeah, I would say in the fridge, you can keep it in the fridge for up to 1 or maybe 2 days if you cover it really well. In the freezer, you can keep it for like a week.
Oh, lovely, lovely. So if you want to make a bigger batch and do it some smaller things every day, and you can just take out and...
Yeah, because this recipe makes quite a lot of cookies. It makes about 25 cookies. Okay. And obviously, like, if you don't want to be baking all 25 in one day, you can easily store the dough in the fridge for a day or 2 days. And then, like I said, the freezer if you need more time.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Anybody has any questions, please feel free to put it on the chat or ask. Thank you so very much for sharing. Lovely.
Thank you, Harshita. That was awesome.
Yeah, and the tips that you shared were very, very well explained, and shows your knowledge on the subject, which is really, really nice. And as I hear from 2 people already, the cookies are yum. So all the very best, and thank you so much for sharing. And everybody is actually saying very well explained, beautiful explanation, and very good tips. Thank you very much, Harshita.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining the show also. Thank you. Take care. So we now, I think we will skip dal makhani for another day because we all know dal makhani. It's nothing so exotic. I think more exotic is what we have from Geeta coming because I'm sorry, but I'm going to interrupt for a second. There is somebody who is saying that please send Harshita's numbers and details if I want to order the cookies. So Poonam, please do the needful.
Definitely. I will reopen my business. Please place as many orders as you would like.
Yes. So there are some questions there, and Poonam will connect with you on that.
Sure, will do.
To Geeta, because what Geeta is sharing is a lot more healthier and tastier than dal makhani for sure. And I think the most interesting part is we all have a sweet tooth some time of the day and seasons, the festivities. And once we indulge in those sweet things, then we regret. So how do we enjoy a great dessert and not regret or feel guilty about it? So Geeta, over to you as always. And this time I hear from Dubai, right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Happy to connect, but Jyoti, I'm missing your dal makhani. Please give us the recipe soon.
On the way
So,
back,
friends, yeah, sure. So friends, talking about desserts, yes, I know everything about sweets and sugar, but I still have a sweet tooth. So does everyone have. So let's accept this fact that every family indulges in desserts.
Yes.
Now, indulging in dessert means having lots of sugar. Having lots of sugar means creating inflammation in your body, reducing the immunity system, and chemically, the white sugar, which is chemically bound, well bound, is again going to have lots of problems. So that means that whoever wants to have sweets will be guilty always. No, it's not like that. What is the science doing here? What are the scientists doing here? I mean, they have actually created something called, which is called artificial sweeteners. Now, what do these artificial sweeteners do? Yes, they remove the glycemic index of all the foods. They remove the metabolic syndrome which everybody is suffering. So what is metabolic syndrome? Metabolic syndrome is when you have a bit of blood pressure, when you have a bit of diabetes or pre-diabetes, and where your cholesterols are not well controlled. That is the time when the body is creating metabolic syndrome in itself, means you are ready to shoot up to any kind of disease immediately, anytime. Whenever you have overindulged, when you are having metabolic syndrome, means you are now on the way of anything and everything, because you are insulting your body. So the environmental insults we cannot help, which are the pesticides and the pollution, but the body insults can be reduced a lot, 70%, by avoiding sugar. Now, talking about artificial sweeteners, what are artificial sweeteners? Well, to talk about in a very short, there are many kind of artificial sweeteners. So one is erythritol, which is a chemical processed artificial sweetener. Then we have xylitol, then we have stevia, then we have yacon, which has got lots of fiber. Then we have sucralose, aspartame. Well, so talking about the most used artificial sweeteners is aspartame. When you are having your diet Pepsi, diet Coca, diet Coke, etc., all these things, it has got aspartame. Aspartame itself is a food product. It is already in chicken, it is already in milk, and it is already in wheat. It is removed from that and it is used as a sweetener. Means, since being a part of food, aspartame, which is also in India called sugar-free gold. I mean, it's most common in India. This is digested by the body, but no such side effect has been actually established, because when you talk about it, everybody has a blind talk that, oh, it's good, not good for health. It creates this. How? There is no proof. If you see on the Google, etc., you will see many studies are going on, but they are still going on. They are still going on. So aspartame is safe enough. The product which I really believe is in stevia. Why? Because it is plant-based. It has got antioxidants. But stevia, to talk on a practical way, has got an aftertaste which not everybody might like. It's not too pleasant.
And it changes.
Second thing is the very famous now these days. It has the FDA has just approved in 2010, I think. It is called the monk fruit. The monk fruit extract is it comes from Buddha. You know, a person who was a monk like Buddha. He discovered this in China. That's why it's called monk fruit. If you call it in Hindi, to sadhu ka meethapan. It is like you know, it is so simple. So well, monk fruit, yes, because this plant has antioxidants in it. It has got its main antioxidant also. So sorry for that. Okay. So this antioxidant creates the antioxidant effect in your body. If it suits you, please go ahead with it. I'll just shortly tell you how to do it. Now, a very famous and most sold artificial sweetener is sucralose. We have our debate, we have on this also, on this sweetener also, but the company I used to work in India used to give this research. It's a research center of diabetes where it has been proved that sucralose is just like chewing gum. If you gulp chewing gum, it will come out as it is from your poop. Why? Because the body does not have the enzymes to digest the chewing gum. Same goes for sucralose. When it enters your gut, enters your stomach, and goes through the small intestine, 10 to 15% is digested. There is an enzyme called sucrase. Sucrase is responsible to digest sucralose. But the way chemically this sweetener has been made, the sucrase does not recognize it in the body. So it's excreted. 10 to 15% which is digested in your body comes out from the urine. So how safe is that? How safe is that you have eaten something and it has not affected you? Again, please don't hear this blindfolded that it's not good for your health, it's not good for your nerves, it's not good for your brain, it can create Alzheimer's. There is no such proof. There is nothing. My clients who have weight loss journey and my patients of diabetes now have been using it for more than 20-25 years without any side effect. And let me tell you, the safe amount you can take is 5 teaspoons. 5 teaspoons can be used for 50 to 60 cups of tea. None of us use it. So we use 2 or 3 sachets in a day. We can use 4 to 5 sachets in a day for your sweetener. So now please make all your kheers, of course, without cream and without malai, your custards, your home desserts with the help of this. Sucralose is heat resistant. You can just add it like sugar. A very good dessert. I know Mrs. Shanthi was explaining about the millets and its nutrition value, also Jyoti. What I do now is for weight loss and for high fiber, how you beat 2 eggs, you make omelette in the morning, right? Now to this, what I have done is I mix 3 to 4 cups of different millets. It can be ragi, it can be your jowar, it can be any other millet. Mix them, roast them well. Keep it in your barni, in your bag. Yeah. Every day when you are making your egg, add 1 to 2 tablespoons, and you make a pancake of egg, which is absolutely calcium and fiber full, as you explain the good values. It comes out great. Let that be your breakfast. Anyway, I went out of my way to speak about this.
There's a question here.
So, do you have time, Poonam, still? A couple of minutes?
So, Geeta, why I really wanted you to share is, because we had this lot of interest about healthy desserts. Everybody wants dessert, but they also want it to be healthy. Now, when you very rightly said that every dessert, there are the 2 unhealthy things is one is the sugar and the second is the fat. And you've just explained how we can replace the sugar with sugar alternatives. What about fat?
Okay. So now I'm coming to something very small, which I have recently created, maybe just 20 days back. One of the great nuts are almonds. One of the great nuts are pistachios, full of iron. Let me tell you. And the third is khaskhas, the opium seeds, right? Which is easily available in Jakarta. They have great nutritional value. They are great for brain. And their fats is not fats, because it is not digested and it is not stored in your body. Okay. So the fats present in them are medium chain triglycerides, which are absolutely, I don't want to repeat this, you all know it, it's absolutely healthy for skin, hair, and your cells. And inside the cell, when the whole cycle goes of ATP, good fats are used, they are absolutely great. So now I want to have dessert and I want to have good fats also. What will I do? I will tell you right away. We make badam halwa. Now, when you talk about badam halwa, or you can talk about pista halwa, or when you talk about opium halwa, opium seeds halwa, that is khaskhas, how? This is already proved that they are excellent for health. So I just take 1 cup of badam fresh from my fridge or freezer. I grind it to a powder. Now this becomes a light brown powder. I keep it aside. Now I want to have that flavor of halwa also, yeah, because my mother has given me halwa, which is absolutely nicely roasted, and you know that ghee, good ghee smell comes, etc., etc. I want to have it the same way, but at the same time, I don't want to feel guilty. So what I do, just 1 tablespoon of ghee. I prefer the homemade ghee because it's the best, or the coconut oil can be taken. 1 tablespoon of ghee and 1 tablespoon of atta. Roast it till the atta is brown, because then you get the smell of halwa. Now when it is, sorry, now when it is done, like brown color, now add the 1 whole cup of almonds and just mix it. Yeah, now I'm not worried about the ghee. Please make it and try it. You know, I want you to share the snaps also. I'll be sharing it with Poonam. She'll share it there. Okay, so now after this, you add 1 to 2 teaspoons of your sucralose powder. Excellent. It is excellent. You will not feel, now this all will look powdery because it has got no ghee, only 1 tablespoon of ghee over a cup of all this. Now add boiling water to it. What happens when you add boiling water? The atta and the ghee coats the badam. Now that badam is already brown in color because we have done it with the skin. We have not removed the skin overnight, etc., etc. No mehnat. Jyoti, please make it for your children also.
Yeah, I will.
Now, when you put the boiling water, it comes out absolutely delicious, and it looks like it is a badam halwa done by maybe Vijaya Billa. You know, these people do it so well. Now, in the same way, please make the pistachio halwa with the new grandchild of Aparna. You give her all the brain food. She'll be the most intelligent, I'm telling you. I mean, it's a fact. So now you add 1 cup of pista instead of badam, freshly grinded from the fridge. Nothing, there is nothing in it, you know. Now it again looks powdery. Now the trick is only that 1 tablespoon of ghee and 1 tablespoon of atta, which will give the halwa flavor. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Somebody is
Finished. Now you add boiling water and it
how much,
comes out superb. You know, like my
how much
husband gives me
boiling
rice
water?
every second day for
Geeta,
the same, because
Geeta, there's a question. How much water should we add?
yes, the water, as you use halwa for that much of it. For me, for 1 cup of badam, I use maybe 1.5 cup of water, because I need the water to bind the 1 tablespoon atta.
Yes.
This is already, you know, this does not require binding, you know, and the nuts, they are direct. So now this 1 cup should be distributed to the whole family, 1 tablespoon each, 2 times a week, and you won't be fat, you will be thin, you'll be more intelligent.
Wow, thanks,
The
Geeta.
same thing we do with the opium seeds, but the opium seeds, they need to be first, you know, in the water for a few hours, and then you grind it to a paste. In the opium seeds, I don't use water, I use milk, because then the recipe is original from my grandmother, you know.
I think, Geeta, we need a separate session with you on all these recipes.
So now, Poonam, please count the calories while eating it, and you'll be amazed how many calories you're eating. It is better than 1 cup of sugar tea made up of sugar and milk.
Yeah, sounds great. I think we will come back to you. Please do share the recipes with us so that we can share it with all our,
Thank you so
the
much.
members
Thank
of
you.
this
We'll have to
session,
do-
and we can all try it.
Yeah, what's also come out really well is that, you know, that fear of aspartame, sucralose, you've taken those away, that it's absolutely fine.
Please tell me something which is not digested by the body. How can it be bad for you? It's not and never. So let's just not go by the buzz. It's bad for health. How? There's no proof. There's
and
no proof.
it becomes more authentic coming from you because you're in the industry. This is your business. So when a doctor tells you that this is healthy for you, the faith goes even more edge higher. That because so far you're right. I was using stevia for a lot of things, but stevia brand to brand, the taste
has a bad aftertaste. I'm talking about the most popular one.
Yes, correct. So it's a great tip. I think we'll have to do another session with Geeta for a lot more details on this. But thank you so much for sharing this. And Geeta's recipe will be posted on the site as well. And sounds really yum and tempting. And more so because it's not real sugar. So let's indulge. The winters are here, even whichever part of the world you're right now, there is some part of winter which is reaching you. Like in Bombay, it's nice and nippy now. So yeah, enjoy the winters with all these nutritious things, and season greetings to everybody. And we'll see you early 2021. Hopefully it's a great new year for all of us. Stay healthy. Thank you so much, Poonam.
Thank you, Jyoti. That was great. Thank you, Geeta, all the way from Dubai. We've, disturbed your holiday, but it was wonderful. And I was really pleased that we had the young ladies join us and share their recipes. Really thankful to Harshita and to Isha.
Yes.
It was really nice. And Shanthi, your recipes are always amazing. You're so generous with your time and with your experience. Thank you. I also wanted to let you know that next week on Tuesday, I'm doing a vision workshop. In case you would like to join the vision workshop, I just have 5 places left because we're doing a very short one with 20 people. If you'd like to join it, please let me know and I'll add you to the group. And our next session on cooking shuking will be on Indonesian food. So we will do all about vegetarian Indonesian food so all of us can enjoy. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this. Please send us your comments. Let us know what you thought about it and if there's anything else that you'd like to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.